AEKE K1, the newest connected fitness resistance trainer on the market. So think Tonal, Speediance Gym Monster, and now the AEKE K1. But what is this all about? How does it compare to those? Well, if I was to summarize this thing, take all the cool things you see of different products that are on the market and smash them into one, and that's what you get here. We'll cover it all, but think connected fitness resistance trainer, mirror functionality so you can see yourself as you work out, camera system built into it so you get feedback and different things that go along with that, compact and mobile so you can move it around the room, you're not locked into one location, and a drizzling of AI throughout the system to make your life a whole lot easier. Whew. Yeah, it's got a lot going on. Now, if you want to learn more about delivery, the packaging, setting this thing up, and the first thoughts, first experience, I made a video dedicated to that. I'll link it at the end of this video and also in the description down below so you can learn more about that. But we're gonna get right into reviewing this bad boy, so here we go. Let's get this off with hardware. And something you're gonna notice throughout this video is that it's just a little bit extra everywhere. You wanna get the mat out and work out on it? You click a button. It folds out. When you're done, click a button, it folds back in, gets nice and compact, doesn't take up a lot of space in your room wherever you put it. This massive screen behind me is 4K and it looks amazing. It adds to the experience. There's just something about it being so big and vibrant. It's very, very nice. On top of that, there's a camera in there somewhere and it's watching you and it allows to give you feedback. And this is something you're gonna notice throughout this video is that it's helping guide you, it's helping teach you. If you've ever said, I'd like to get into resistance training, or I want a cardio resistance training option, but I don't wanna go to a gym, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't wanna get a personal trainer, it does all that for you in your own home. So it's gonna show you exercises. It's gonna say, hey, don't put your arm here, put it here, extend a little farther. It's gonna help guide you and let you do things that a personal trainer could do at a gym for you where you're feeling uncomfortable if that's not you, and bring it right in your home and help you get a great full body exercise. So it's pretty neat how it does that. Another thing I'll say is the sound system on most connected fitness devices I've tested is just short of hot garbage. This is amazing. It has great sound, great range, great volume, and great clarity. When I connected my phone up to it, I got some great music. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It doesn't quite fully work yet. When you get into an exercise that disconnects, they told me it's gonna be fixed. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this, but this is the very initial pre-release version. So some bugs are still getting worked out, but they told me that's on the way. And what I did test the music is very good. And I was excited about that. It's nice to have good music when you're working out. We talked about this amazing screen, but it's also a mirror. And that again adds to the experience. When you can see yourself, you know, oh man, I'm not doing that right. I thought I was standing up straight up, but I'm leaning, or I've got some funky angle going to my arm. You see the instructors, you're comparing to them. You can use that mirror to better do what you're doing, understand what you're doing, and use that information, but still see that screen extremely well. So it's kind of like a dual input. Another thing is, sometimes you've probably had devices like this. When you try to interact with them, it's slow, it's clunky. This is not that way at all, and I was very impressed with that. If you want to do something, if you want to swipe, it just does it. It's very, very responsive. When you click something, it loads right up. There's no delay. I've had machines where every click, there's a couple seconds and you're waiting and you have to click 10 times to get somewhere and it's a couple second delay every time. That gets old real quick. And this thing, initial version, just responding that well. The technology of this, it's just loaded throughout it, but it works really well for an initial release. So that's amazing. I've been very happy with all the hardware that's built into this thing. So passing a lot of tests right there out of the gate. So I mentioned this is version 1.0 and I'm an IT guy, and even outside of fitness, I've seen plenty of version 1.0 softwares and they often are not very good. They have a lot of work to do and it just makes you cringe. You're like, I don't want to use that yet. I'll wait for version 2.0 or whatever it is. And this, and my main point here is, while there are some bugs and there's some things they're going to work on, I've already reached out and said, hey, have you guys thought about this or that or this or that? And they've said, yeah, we're already on it. That's coming up in this release. They're way on it. So I know there's tons more coming that's going to improve this thing. For a pre-release, a version 1.0, this is the starting point. This thing is killing it. It works so well. It has so many features already. And I haven't found anything where it's like, ooh, that's a major bug. I haven't found anything like that. Just a little more like, hey, consider this improvement type things. So as a starting point, if this is where they're starting, I can't even imagine where they're gonna be in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. It's gonna be amazing. So I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. Subscribe, because I'll keep making content so you can see and learn about this thing as it continues to develop. But starting point, pretty amazing. By the way, I was thinking about comparing this thing to the Tonal and Speediance Gym Monster, but I don't know if there's enough people that are interested. So if you are, comment down below and I shall create it. Next up, let's talk about resistance. It goes up to 220 pounds and it's digital resistance. And if you've never done digital resistance before, it is the real deal. It has motors in there that simulate it and just basically create that level of resistance through the ropes and the attachments that you use, and it is extremely challenging. Comparing to free weights, if I do a curl at a certain weight or a bench press at a weight and then I do it on this, it is extremely comparable. So if you have concerns like it's just not gonna be the same or it's weaker, it doesn't really do as much, if anything, it maybe does a little bit more. Often digital resistance feels a little bit heavier. So far with me, this has felt like a pretty good match. Now, something you get with these is you also get different modes. It's one of my favorite things about digital resistance. So if you want to target muscles in a certain way where the resistance ramps up at a certain point and then lets off, you can have different modes that do that so you can get that targeting in and try to challenge your muscles in different ways. I like to use constant mode just because it's constant, where on the lift, it's there at that amount, it stays the same on the way down. But in short, if you're not looking to go past 220 pounds, you don't need those kind of numbers, and you just want to get exercise, you want to get a balance of cardio and resistance training, more likely than not, this is going to be a great option. I'm a big guy, I'm 6'3", 230 pounds, and I wouldn't need more than this personally. This could challenge me in all the ways I need it to, and feel like I got a great resistance training option in. So if that helps you out, it's a very good option. If you surpass that or you want more than that, well, then this might not be the option for you. But other than that, it's a fantastic machine for that purpose. And if at any point you say, boy, I want to check that out, or I might actually go buy it, I do have a link in the description. Yes, it supports the channel, and of course, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. By the way, have I mentioned that this is at version 1.0? Okay, I know. My point here is, this thing has so much room to grow, and they're listening. So comment down below, if you could have any feature built into this, what would it be? Let's put it out there so they know, and they can only make it better and listen to what you would want. Now's the time. Next up, things to consider. I'm not the person that will only say the positives in video. I want you to make the best decision for you. And that means understanding the potential negatives and if those might push you away from this product, so that way, again, you're making the best decision for you. And some of them with this, well, first, it's a new company. You never know what you're gonna get with a new company. Are they gonna last forever? Are they gonna make it? I don't know. But I will say the product is fantastic. My interactions with the company so far have been very good. And it just seems like something that would be successful, but again, I don't know. Second, and something that could be a consideration for some people, is the resistance points. Other comparable machines, you can move the resistance, so you can get different angles, which give you different exercises, different ways to target muscles. Think lat pull downs, tricep extensions, things like that. If you can have the resistance coming from vertical and being able to move that around. The resistance only comes from one spot, and that's below you. Now, for most people, this really probably isn't a huge deal because there are still ways of doing different exercises and they guide you through it to still target all muscles. This is still a whole body workout. But if you're a person that's like, I really want to be able to do this specific motion, I want that resistance to come from above me. Well, this doesn't do that, and that's something you might want to consider. I don't think it would shy away from me or most people. I really don't think it's that big of a deal, but it is something you have to think about depending on what you want and how you want to use it. And last, I talked about commenting down below on what you would like to see built into this. And one of those for me is just some more options. For example, I'd love to see a library built into it. Now, this isn't so much more of a negative. This is something I'm sure will come over time. It's just not in version 1.0. But I'd love to be able to go in and say, I want to do this exercise. And I see options. If I pick shoulders, it's going to say, here are the 50 different shoulder exercises we have built into this. Pick the one you want, you click it, and then you go do it. And I can just do kind of a one by one. Or I can build out my own exercises. So I could have shoulder 1, shoulder 2, legs, bicep. I can create different structures that are for me and that I like to do, and come back and reference those again and have those built out instead of just using what it provides, and have a balance of, hey, what are they gonna do for me? What are they gonna build out? But also have my own for doing ways or doing exercises the way I prefer. Those are things, again, I am sure will come, but they're not out there today, and I'd love to see them. So that's my feedback to them. Reasons to subscribe. Well, yeah, obviously more content on this coming out. It's only gonna get better, and I'm excited to talk about it more. Maybe that I sat on a styrofoam block this whole time to get this shot. It might be worth it. Good one. Avron bike coming out. Gamified bike, something I've been wanting forever. I am so excited to test that out. That's gonna be a good one. Anything else? Big one. Full review of the Omni 1. Let's see if I can get this shot in here. Spin this around real quick. Where am I looking at? Yeah, that thing right behind me. That thing is amazing. It's gonna be sweet. So yeah, lots of cool stuff coming out. Subscribe for that if you're interested in any of that. A link in the description if you don't mind supporting the channel on this amazing thing. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, I hope you have a great one.